So Alex, as you know, a lot of times in the shop kitchen, big pieces of equipment like the meat grinder and stuff intimidate our competitors.
Yeah, totally.
And ourselves, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But this simple little thing that I love so much that everybody has at home, the microplane, can sometimes be overlooked. It's generally only used here in the shop kitchen, as I've seen it, to grate cheese and maybe grate some citrus zest. But you can use it on any kind of juicy vegetable or fruit. What I love, my little hack for guacamole is to always use a microplane for my onions, because you can't make a proper guacamole without onions. But some people don't like to bite into, like my wife for instance, does not like to bite into a big chunky piece of onion. Right. It's too strong, it's too bitter. So what I like to do is you just simply take an onion, and while we're talking here, we will use the microplane. Really, really complicated.
You're taking the microplane out of its kind of comfort zone, because I think we think a microplane is for grating ginger, you know, grating citrus zest and stuff like that, or even nutmeg, right? It's kind of like a rasp. Right. It's like a culinary rasp in the kitchen, right? But here you get a completely different result. You get this almost liquefied.
Yeah, it's like a pulp. It's definitely, Scott Conan would appreciate this move. And you can use any juicy vegetable or fruit. Works well with apples, works well with tomatillos. I mean, basically anything. You want to get in here?
No, I wanted you to have a different one for your apple.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Same thing here. Just for last-minute additions to salads.
Right. Instead of, and then it looks like lime zest, but you have this totally different flavor.
You know, if you're making an apple vinaigrette, you can puree that right into it. Simple tool, but can be used for more than just grating cheese or citrus.
I love that. Chris, I want to talk to you about something.
Okay.
The mandolin.
Yes.
Super scary.
It can be very scary.
Super easy. It does one thing, it cuts.
Yes, sometimes your fingers.
Yeah, yes. So we've got this little knob in the back that just you twist one way or another, and that adjusts how thick or thin your slices are. So you want to kind of gauge it. It's just like turning the volume up on a radio or an old TV set, right? And it depends on what you're cutting, how thick or thin you want it. Here's what I like. You can get a cut that's super thin and super consistent on the fly, better than you would by hand, and you get something really beautiful. So I always run whatever I'm doing over it really quickly, just to get a sense.
Yep.
And then you're literally, you know, a radish in particular, you're never gonna get this kind of cut with a knife, especially in the shop kitchen under pressure.
Look at that, it's perfect. Paper thin. I think it's scary because you know it's one of those things where you can easily cut yourself, and we all know what a horrific situation it is to cut yourself in the shop kitchen.
So then I can go thicker. I just twist the dial back to make this part thick, this opening wider, and that's how you gauge how thick or thin. And you just have to have a vegetable that fits on here. So if you have a big onion, you can just peel it down a little bit.
Cut it in half.
And then you can get nice slices. You get nervous, you get to the end, turn it around and go here. You can also use the guard. This little piece comes with it. So for example, with an onion, I can press that in, and I've got a nice finger.
Virtually guaranteed not to cut yourself.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed, please. You know, this is the first time I've used the guard, because if, you know, professional chefs, you know, we like to live on the edge, but I highly recommend, look at that, right in there. And you just keep slicing and you protect your fingers.
Beautiful.
You drop two on top of each other, right? Because we're all about getting it done.
Two on top of each other.
Right. I mean, just cut it in half, right?
Look at that.
You get something pretty thin, right? Something crunchy. You can make a pickled vegetable salad in a second. But you could also, look, we're essentially making a mirepoix, right?
Yep.
So you can use carrots, celery, and onions for anything, and look at how beautiful, and all these different shapes. I'm crying from the onions. I'm crying because this piece of equipment is so good. But if you're not, you know, if you're kind of a rookie, put your stuff on the side, use the guard, protect your fingers, right?
Protect your stuff at all times, basically.
We want people to be chopped. We don't want them to chop themselves physically.